beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of Wholistic Conversations. I am excited to bring on the next guest for you all. You know, each and every episode I bring on amazing guests. So this one right here would not fall short of your expectations, okay? We have Boomman in the building, okay? So I want to start off with putting the narrative in your hand and tell me, who is Boomman?
Well, Boomman is a character. If you're asking who Boomman is, it's a character, a former artist, music exec, music mogul, someone that's out to help the culture, help the people in music and entertainment. My name is Lavore Sanders.
Lavoy?
Lavore. Yeah, Lavore.
Okay.
Lavore, I'm definitely a spiritual being, a father, motivational speaker, a philanthropist, somebody that's trying to empower the people and lead the culture forward. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Definitely spiritual, definitely holistic.
Okay, look at that. You on Wholistic Conversations, so
For sure.
Don't get any better than that.
For sure.
Okay, so I want to go into your childhood. I want to take a camera, like I have a camera in my hand,
Okay.
and I want to zoom in into like paint the picture of me of your childhood.
Wow. My childhood, my mom, it was me, my mom, and my sister. My mom is from Chicago, so she came down here like no money for real, in a car. And if you're from Chicago, she had one of those cars that had a hole in the floor because of the salt water from the lake.
Okay.
And single mom trying to make it with her 2 kids. I was in and out of trouble as a young kid. Didn't do well in school. Always questioned everything. Kind of rebellious, but also giving and caring the same way I am now. Always trying to look out for the people around me.
Right. And what was your living conditions?
In the beginning, it was rough. Like, I stayed in almost every project around the city.
Okay.
First place on Boulevard, then the Bluff, then we moved around.
Yeah.
But growing up, I went to every school from the 4th grade to the 11th grade. I went to a different school every year, and so we moved around a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
And what is the one memory that you take away from childhood that make you who you are today?
That's some deep questions. You trying to take me back.
Yeah. We gotta go back. We gotta get to know you on a deep level, right?
Right. A memory from my childhood that made me who I am today. Mm-hmm. When you say childhood, well, I'm gonna say I had a lot of spiritual guidance in my life at different times, in and out of churches. That kind of made me who I am today. Although today I don't subscribe fully to religion, I'm definitely spiritual, but that kind of made me who I was today as far as ingraining in me, my love and caring of others and, doing what I can to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you say you are spiritual. So what are some of your spiritual practices?
Obviously meditating a lot. It's funny. I used to pray a lot, but now I more so try to tap in with my ancestry, I'm more on that right now, on that path.
So how do you do that? Like tap in? Are you saying you're learning about your history?
Yeah, I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm learning about it, and I really just talked to my mom. My mom passed away in 2012. I don't really subscribe to, you know what I'm saying, right? I don't subscribe to outer, something coming to save me.
Okay.
You feel me? I'm one of them type of people that believe, God is within me and I have to save myself.
No, that is very true.
Right.
And when you say when you tap into your ancestors and everything like that, are you doing like altars? Are you like anything like that?
I haven't got to that level because truth be told, like I'm a baby in all of this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like I'm 43 years old. But like last year, I was telling you earlier, like I started my vegan journey last year. I linked up with the guy, Yaki Awaken, and he pretty much gave me a lot of insight and a lot of knowledge. I did an interview with him that's going to be dropping soon as well on my podcast.
Yeah.
And, he guided me, and from there, I went down certain rabbit holes. So I'm a baby in this.
Yeah. So what are some of the rabbit holes you have been down so far? Because it gets deep. The more you ask the question why, the deeper it goes.
Right. So first it started off with the food, right? And me understanding about what we put in our body. Like I asked him on my podcast, I was asking him because he was telling me you can't catch a cold, right? And so him breaking that down to me as far as we can't catch a cold kind of started making me understand like scientifically as far as like cellular structures and how things work and how we attack our body instead of our body attacking us. And so it took me down that path as far as how to eat, and then I started studying Layla Africa, obviously Dr. Sebi. And I was on the Dr. Sebi early on. That's why I really first started, because my mom passed away from cancer in 2012. And so when she passed away from cancer in 2012, she told me before she passed away, she said, son, I want you to remember this and never forget it. She said, live food, live body, dead food, dead body. And that stuck with me. So I wasn't fully aware during that time what she fully meant. But I started following Dr. Sebi. And when I started following Dr. Sebi, I instantly stopped eating fast food and stopped eating pork. And so from there, I would fast, at the beginning of every year from no meat and no starch, no blood and starch, like he used to say. And that's kind of like my start. And then you start going spiritual and spirituality and start understanding religion, and I start understanding where stuff come from. And it's so much information now that's out here to where, if you really want to learn and you're open to it. But I realized the first thing I had to do was clean my insides to be aware and to be able to want to even receive the knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as, I guess, working on those chakras that they talk about. You work on the chakras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with the idea of the chakras. I understand the theory behind it. I'm not too focused on the chakras, but I do believe we do have different energy centers and how different things can affect our emotions and how things should be able to flow naturally. So I agree heavily with the concept of the chakras.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying is you are in a process of unlearning to relearn, right?
Well, I've already unlearned. I'm relearning.
Yeah.
I already unlearned.
Yeah.
I kind of been unlearning since like my mom passed, and that was in 2012.
Right. And how old were you at that time?
43 now. Like what, 30? 2012, 31?
Yeah.
31.
Yeah. And so how does one cope with grief? No one ever teaches us how to grieve, right?
Right.
It's kind of like a personal thing you have to go through and figure out by yourself. So what were some ways that you were able to grieve your mother's passing?
I did. I don't know. It was tough for me, right? So the first 3 months, I carried on with my life like it was nothing. And then that third month, I broke down and I cried for like an hour in front of somebody. So, and ever since, I wasn't the same person. So, and it took me a while to start getting back. And I don't think I ever got back to that same person that I was before she passed, but started kind of getting back to myself. And like now I'm really learning who I am. And so it's been over 10 years of transitioning, and I'm really starting to understand who I really am. But it took me going through those paths to kind of learn who I was.
Yeah.
I'm one of them people that believe things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you cried, and as a Black man or a man in general, you get told men don't cry. Was that the last time you cried?
No.
Okay.
No.
Or was that the first time you cried in a long time?
That was the first time I cried in a long time, and I recently cried like last year since then.
Okay.
So it was like a 10-year window.
Wow.
From that time to this time. And it's always happening when it's like a big change in your life.
Right.
And so like the time I cried before that is when I decided that I was never going to work a regular job again. So that was in 2006, 2007. So 2006, 2007, I cried with my first business partner. When I made a decision, I said, all right, I'm finna do this business thing, and I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I cried because I knew I wasn't turning back. I was never gonna work a 9 to 5. I was never gonna do another job. And the first things I did was get tattoos on my neck. So that was
like
me burning. That was me burning my bridges behind me.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I think we all come to that point in life where we have to make that decision and know that, hey, I'm doing something totally different outside of the norm. Because most times, we don't have that picture of entrepreneurship in our family. So you're taking a leap on doing something so different.
Right.
And there's a middle line, right? You're actually a little bit in fear, but then you also encourage.
Right.
And it reminds me of the time I went skydiving, right?
Wow.
It was like, okay, I'm 15,000 feet high in the sky.
Right.
I gotta do it. It's no turning back. We already up here. You jump off, you're scared. I'm in fear.
Right.
But then at some point I cried because I was like, wow, I did it. I have the courage.
You overcame your fears.
I overcame the fear.
Right.
So I feel like that's kind of somewhat of what you're saying, that point where you were when you say, hey, there's no turning back.
Right.
I'm going to take a leap of faith and believe in myself and my ability to achieve my goals and my dreams.
And I ain't turned back since.
Wow, that is very pivotal.
I ain't filled out a W-2 since. Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to the big one.
For sure.
Not the little one. For sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really insightful. And you said recently the last time you cried was last year?
Yeah.
And
I cried a couple of times. Well, last year I went through a divorce. And for a lot of people, last year was a rough year for a lot of people. The economy changing, dealing with a lot of losses. So it was a rough year because it was another shift in my life, and there was a lot of things I needed to let go. And, I felt like the crying was allowing me to cleanse from it. And so, I cried several times last year. But one time I cried for like 20 minutes in front of somebody.
And that in front of somebody is very, that's a vulnerable place.
It's a vulnerable place.
It's
both
very
times.
vulnerable. So
different people.
How does it make you feel when you cry? I'm just trying to get the idea of the man crying. Like, how does it feel? Is it because I know when I cry, sometimes it's a release.
No, it's definitely a release, but it's also like an embarrassing thing. I guess because most men, like, you don't want nobody to see you weak, or in your weakest moments, unless you feel safe. You feel like you're in a safe space with those people. And it was showing a vulnerable side of me. And I'm human, I know a lot of people that know me in the industry, see me on social media, but I'm definitely a human being. Yeah. And I have emotions, I have feelings. And And, you know, when you go through, stuff been built up for so long, and you finally like, okay, cool, I need to release this. And I'm not the type of person, I don't do drugs. I'm not an alcoholic. You know, you got to find a way to release somehow. You feel me? And I think, you know, that was a healthy release for me.
Yeah. I think that is a really healthy release. And it's okay. I think it's very attractive for a man to say, I cried.
Okay.
I feel like it's a man, like a badge of honor for a man to say, I ain't cried in 10 years or 20 years.
Right.
It's like, but you're human and you
Yeah.
have moments, you know what I'm saying? And recognizing that and understanding that, yes, you're a man, but first and foremost, you're a human.
Right.
And the thing that makes us human is our emotions.
It's definitely our emotions.
You know? So it's okay to have emotions.
Facts.
It's okay to cry, man.
Right.
Okay, so
In this day and age, though, you know, you could be you could be a little sassy or feminine to some people. You know how they like to say.
Yeah.
Like,
but I don't know. I think social media is really biased, and I also feel like it's controlled in a certain way.
It definitely
and I don't know
is.
if it's my feed, but I really feel like the Black community, men and women, we're against each other. I think it's taken such a turn. I'm like, what is going on? You know,
it's a lot going on, and that's a deeper conversation. You know, shoot, it's an agenda.
Yeah,
You know
it's working to a degree.
In America.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the culture. You know what I'm saying? Depending on which culture you're in, but I guess in the urban,
yes,
you know what I'm saying, culture, it is, you know, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know.
So what do you think really, what is the agenda? I know you said it's an agenda, so what is it?
It's been an agenda to separate the Black family.
Yeah.
You know, if we at war with each other, it's like there's no
we
unity.
go self-destruct. We go
right. There's no unity. It's all about knowing who we are, where we come from. You know, and if we don't know who we are and where we come from, we don't know that we're gods and you're a goddess. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how to conduct with one another. We don't know how to honor each other. We don't know how to, you know, help each other. We don't know how to heal each other. You feel me? So, you know, we're at odds. The Black man needs the Black woman in order to heal. Y'all are the original healers. Y'all the nurturers, the providers of life. Y'all are goddesses. You feel me? So, you know, the original, in my opinion, like a lot of things that I've learned, y'all the original being on this planet.
Yeah.
Right. Everything comes from women.
Yes, I agree. So why do you think we're at a point in time where women, like you say, we're nurturers, right? But it seemed like women being nurturers is not enough in today's society.
Once
you get
again,
what I'm saying?
it's an agenda. You know what I'm saying? And programming to control.
Right.
Like how do you control people? By making them consumers. Right? So if we're now consumers and now everything on the outside of the body matters more than everything on the inside, now you're at odds because now we're fighting over things that's really in our lower chakras.
Right,
I know
right.
you ain't subscribed to the chakras, but the root chakra, the solar plexus, like of material, you know, things of that nature that really doesn't benefit our spirit and our souls, right? And we're soul people,
We
right?
are.
Right, so we have that stuff is gonna keep us divided from connecting like we should properly.
And you know, I think one of the biggest ways they program us is through the music. So right now, I would say in mainstream like media, as far as the music goes, you have like the women saying, you know, it's very sexualized. It's F the men. It's I can have multiple men. And then on the male side of like hip hop, you got F the women. I like my women bisexual.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that right there plays a big part into the culture as well.
Think about it, they're turning us barbaric.
Yeah. That's deep. So you also mentioned that we don't know ourselves, right? And you would say you're on a journey to knowing who you are.
Right.
So what's one piece of advice you can give someone to say, hey, I want to get to know myself?
I think the first thing, and this might not be a popular thing to say, is the first thing you got to realize, I think for me, is realizing that me unsubscribing to religious beliefs that somebody is going to come save me, you know, I think that's the first thing, and you can save yourself.
Yeah.
We are all gods. You know what I'm saying? God is in all of us. And so tap into the God that's in you. You know what I'm saying? And the more you tap into the God that's in you, the more you accomplish, the more you can achieve, the more you can elevate. You know?
And I know you mentioned a part of your journey that you went through last year was allowing yourself to let go of things.
Right.
And I feel like that's a part of anyone's journey of getting to know yourself. You have to let go a lot of the beliefs and the programming and a lot of that you have to let go. And it's not easy to let go of something that you think this is who I am. Why would I let go parts of me? But when you really think about it and you reflect back, you think all of what you are made up of is just of other people's opinions and beliefs. It's not yours. You just agreed to it because you had to, right? Your parents, the religion, you had to sit there and agree,
right?
But you feel like it's you, but really it's not.
No, it's not you.
So, letting go. You talked about your divorce. So, how long were you married?
I think 2014. 2014. Like was it 2016?
Okay.
I know we was together. We was together from 2012, so it was over 10 years. Got divorced in 2023, so it was like 11 years. I think we got married in 2016. I be getting confused from when we had my first son to when we got married. Yeah. But I think it was 2014. Got married 2014.
And what made you say, okay, she's the one, I want to settle down with her?
I think once again it was me looking at childhood traumas. My dad wasn't there. I wish my dad and my mom was together. And so we had a son, and I was like, you know, the right thing to do is because of my character and who I am is to have a family. You know, like I think any man with morals and character wants a family, you know what I'm saying, wants a village. You know, that's parts of me. You feel me? And so, you know, I'm big on family.
Okay.
And I think if I can make it work, I want to make it work. If I can't make it work, I can't make it work. And so it gets to a point of time where you realize you're on different paths and you're on different frequencies. Yeah. And, you know, everything is energy, right? So it's positive and negative. And if it ain't charging your battery,
it's draining it.
It's draining it. So once it's empty, it's dead.
Right.
That's how you end up dying. Dead cells. Right? So I wasn't trying to die.
So what's one thing you feel like you could have done better in your marriage? What? Well, we gotta know.
I like to be honest, and I don't want somebody to do this. A clickbait. All right. One thing I could have did better in my marriage was been true to myself sooner. Been true to myself sooner.
Okay. Was it because was it like infidelity on your end or anything like that?
It was infidelity on both ends.
Okay.
But that wasn't the reason. You know, I think just being true to who you are. Right. You know, a lot of times we don't know who we are. So, you know, people have emotions and feelings and they suppress them trying to please the other person instead of being able to be truthful And you can't be true to somebody else if you're not true to yourself. And so for me, I needed to have a reality check with me.
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from? I don't blame nobody, you know what I'm saying? On anything that I've been through. I always blame me because I understand now I'm the only person who can save me.
Yeah. Do you still believe in marriage?
Of course.
Yeah. Would you be married again?
Of course.
Okay, that's good. I know some men like, once they reach a certain point in life, you believe in monogamy or you prefer multiple women? Because the world is changing on that too.
I don't think it's changing on that. I think that's been in the world.
You think it's going back to it? Because at some point...
Back to polygamy or monogamy?
Polygamy.
Because polygamy was the...
quote unquote the star. I got to do some more research because I'm sure I can find something somewhere.
In our culture,
Yeah.
polygamy, I guess, has always been a thing. Like I know in the African culture, polygamy, the more wives you had, it showed how wealthy you was. It showed respect. It showed, you know what I'm saying? It helped for protection. It helped for providing the work, the land, the work, the crops, bigger family. You know what I'm saying? It helped with, it helped with a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there was a sign of respect for a man to have multiple wives. It just showed how rich he was.
So do you believe in it?
I don't have no reason not to believe in it.
Is it something you would want?
That's a good question. I'm not against it, but I guess I'm not locked in on that. You know where I'm coming from? Like right now, I'm really not even operating in that solar plex, that chakra. So I know I keep saying
no, you're
chakra.
fine. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm
not. I haven't really been operating in that. I've been operating more in the crown, and then
the self,
in the third eye.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Awareness.
I've been locked in on information. So it's things that I want to learn, and it's about learning who I am, and through me learning who I am and learning what I want. Like I've never been in a situation where. I guess I've dealt with one woman because I've been married twice, but where I've just wanted to deal with one woman.
Right.
And I don't know if it's a discipline thing or if it's something that, that you should just be like naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning.
Yeah, I feel
What about you?
I don't know. I believe in monogamy, but I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the world we live in, it seems like, oh, you just got to accept the man dealing with multiple women. And I don't know. I don't subscribe to that. I feel like I'm worthy, to be committed to in a, monogamous relationship. Yeah. Because I understand the theory, too, of like, okay, it's a man's nature to have sex with multiple women. And
I think it's a woman's nature, too. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Listen.
There are some women who,
I think it's about, for me, in my opinion, it's about, we all living, you was reading the 4 agreements, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you already understand we were living in the dream of the planet, right? You have your dream, I have my dream. We all have different wants and desires. Right. Where they come from, I don't know. You feel me? Should we control them or should we live in them? It depends on where we're going, right? I think everything is about balance. Everything is about balance.
Yeah.
You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And, finding out how to balance desires and things of that nature. I just think it's more so about being truthful. It's a lot of people in the world that wants different things. And I can't really answer that. That's a good question. You might need to have somebody on here who specializes in monogamy and polygamy and things of that nature. But I think a lot of people is doing it or want to do it for personal desires instead of wanting to do it to maybe build a culture, build a family, and there's nothing wrong with desires either.
Yeah. And that's why I know someone that presented the opportunity to me, say, hey, I want to be polygamous. I want you to be the one. Like they got, stuff going on where they can afford, right?
Yeah.
Multiple women and taking care of that.
Definitely got better.
You know what I'm saying? And they were like, I'll get the woman, and if I like her, I vibe with her. It's not really about sex either, right?
Yeah.
It's really about building a community,
Right.
living off the land,
Right.
having a family and everybody helping out, and it
Right.
sounds good.
Yeah, that's African
But for
culture.
me,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to live amongst a group of women. I don't want to share a man that I love, right?
Right.
And then on top of that, you having kids. I don't know. It's not for me. So I was like,
feel
I would
it.
have to decline.
You were brought up in a different culture.
Yeah.
You know? And so yeah, that's
But we're gonna take a
understandable.
health break real quick, okay?
Okay.
I got you a herbal tea from my
Okay.
business. I have a business where I manufacture health food products. This is one of the beverages right here, y'all. It's an elder punch. So it got elderberries, hibiscus. So I want to give that to you.
Thank you.
I would like if you can give it a try and let the people know what you think of it.
Okay,
So it's
cool.
elderberries, hibiscus. We also have an unfiltered apple juice in there to make it a well-balanced
All right,
drink.
cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is really good for like building the immune system.
Okay.
There's also high in vitamin C from the hibiscus.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
yeah, it's a well-rounded drink.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Rocking with it? Cool. So that's good. And I think this is
Needed that too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I rock with that.
Thank you. So this is a really good segue to before you got here, you got into an accident.
Right.
So we had to talk about that
Oh man.
because everything happens for a reason, whether it's good or bad,
Yeah.
And essentially your life flashed before your
Right.
eyes,
Right.
So
Definitely did.
I don't know if I ever had an experience where my life flashed before my eyes.
Right.
So let me know like what was going on in that moment for you.
I thought it was over with. And you know what's so funny? I think because of all the spiritual work that I've been doing, I'm prepared for the next phase. You know what I'm saying? Whenever it comes. That fear is kind of gone for me now. You know,
Yeah.
I really believe that because even going through it, I was calm. I wasn't panicking. I was just like, oh Lord, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
So that allowed you to know like, okay, I wasn't panicking. I stayed calm. And do you ever think like,
I thought I was gonna flip though.
yeah, the
Yeah,
whole
I
car.
thought I was gonna flip.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna flip, but it went up the hill. It hit the tree. It went sideways and it just kind of went down. Car's messed up.
Yeah.
Gotta figure it out.
Did you feel protected?
From
From death. Like because
my airbag didn't deploy, so I don't know.
because I'm thinking if it was me, right? I'm in a car, my car go up the hill and it's about to flip, but it don't flip. And I'm like, wow, I must be really protected because
From
I don't know, from death, like something higher than me is protecting me and I'm not done here on this earth yet.
I don't subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just me.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Because I look at it like this, right? You got people who burnt churches with people in them. Churches with people in them.
Right.
Were they protected?
But I also believe everything happens for a reason.
The reason somebody had hate.
Yes,
and
yes.
they decided to burn a church out of hate with people in it.
Yes.
So somebody getting raped, did that happen for a reason?
Unfortunately, I would say all things happen for a reason.
That's because somebody had ill intent and did it. Right?
Yeah.
Were they protected? What if they were God fearing? What if they prayed?
Yeah.
Were they protected? So
Possibly. I don't know.
no,
Yeah.
no, I don't subscribe. That's just me though.
Yeah.
You feel me? I feel like once again, nobody's coming to save us.
Right.
What you just said about the culture, men versus women,
Right.
who's saving us?
Ourselves.
Black on black crime, who's saving us? Kids are being shot. Kids are getting locked up. Kids are going to prison.
Yeah.
Right? Mothers abandoning kids. Fathers abandoning kids. Right? Sex trafficking. Why are they not protected?
Right.
And it happens for a reason?
Okay, so in the 4 agreements, right?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. He talked about, the dream. And in the dream, it's still like we still have to live in the reality of the world, essentially. So we all have individual desires, but collectively it's really on a path to like help humanity. So we have to go through the ugly side of life, essentially, to all come together and figure it out.
Ugly side of life been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah.
You feel me? Even if we go to religion, right? This is we're in 2024 after death.
Yeah.
It's been what? 2024 years? Was it 20,024 years? What is it? 2024 years? Nobody's came to save us yet.
Yeah.
We have to save ourselves.
But when we save ourselves, I think collectively we can all help each other.
The God that's in us.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
So we all need those individual experiences, whether it's good or bad, that will shape us and figure out who we really are. Because sometimes, I don't know. I think bad stuff happens to all people.
For sure.
Like you can't go through life thinking, okay, I'm going to have a perfect life.
For sure.
Right? And the things that happen bad to us, we can't. It's typically most times out of our control.
Definitely.
So we can't look at it as
some of it's in our control though, and I believe a lot of it is in our control. But the unexpected things, I agree with you.
Yeah.
They're not in our control, right? But who's protecting us?
Us.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You feel me?
feel
So
you.
when you
I
ask
feel
me,
you.
did I feel protected? Do I feel like something protected me? I don't know.
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from? But I do know somebody else is in a car accident that probably didn't make it.
Right. I get what you're saying. So like who's protecting them? I get it. So do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe, or you just more so got to understand that everything is energy?
I think where I'm at in my life, I don't want to believe no more. I want to know.
So how do you know? The more you connect with yourself,
The more I connect, the more I research, the more I study, the more I learn, the more I experiment, the more I experience.
yeah.
Right? These are the ways that I'm going to find out and the ways that I'm going to know. So, a belief is a belief, right? And beliefs create confusion.
In what way?
And always it's a belief. We don't know. So now we start hypothesizing and we have debates. And now, should I be in a relationship? Should I not be in a relationship? Should I be monogamous? Should I not be monogamous? Because we don't know who we are.
Right.
When you know who you are, you know what you are, you know your powers and capabilities, then you can move in knowing.
That's real.
You feel where I'm coming from? Like, so when you know who you are and how you want your life to be structured, there's no confusion. When you believe something should be a certain way, I believe that, but I don't fully know.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So, and it's so funny. It's so funny to me, like how some people may disagree with me and that's fine. Everybody's entitled, but we believe in one thing, but don't believe in something else, right? And so I was having a conversation today with someone. I don't want to call them out. And they were saying, I was telling them about, we was talking about planets and solar systems, and we was talking about stars, and they was like, I don't really believe in outer space and these things. But they believed in the Bible, which a lot of people do.
Right.
And I was like, so you heard Jesus walked on water. You believe that?
Right. He said, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A man was in the belly of a whale for how many days?
I don't really subscribe to the Bible.
Right. So,
yeah.
But then I'm like, you see a bright sun right there, right? You see that star in the sky, right? You see the moon right there, right? You go to a place, you see stars shine, but you could see that, but you don't believe in that, but you believe. Have you ever seen a man walk on water?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Is like we're programmed a certain type of way. You get where I'm coming from? To where we've been programmed to put our beliefs over what is really in front of us, what we really can see. We don't even believe in ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. The God that's in us, we'll rather believe on an outside source or an outside power than to believe who we are.
Yeah.
Right? That God is in us. And we are God's.
Yeah. And when you operate from that frequency of knowing that God is within you,
right?
I feel like you really do see like miracles. You see the synchronicities. You see the things come together. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like my life is kind of like that. I know who I am, and I also know like what we're capable of as humans. Right? I think being a human, we have superpowers. Right.
We definitely do. We magic.
Literally.
Words are magic. You can manifest. You can speak stuff into existence.
Yeah.
Right? This is our magic. You know what I'm saying? Our power.
Right. And like you say, that goes with getting to know who you really are. Because, I mean, we are literally magical. And some people are like, oh, my God, Brittany, your life just kind of... And I'm like, little do y'all know, everybody is capable of creating their dream life, right?
You want me to tell you how powerful you are?
What's that?
I'm here because of you.
That's true. Magic.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So you put your mind to something, you put your thought, you say, hey, I think Boom would be dope to have on my podcast. You reached out, now I'm here. Yeah. Car accident and all, I'm still here.
For sure.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's power.
That is.
You know what I'm saying? That's manifestation.
And it goes back to the knowing that it's inside of you, because like the more things synchronize perfectly in alignment in my life, I'm like, oh, this is really for me. Like, Facts. I don't even question it anymore. Facts. You know, because the way things flow for me, I'm like, yeah, this is my calling. Facts. Because it's too easy. Facts. You know. So I'm also, so thankful that you came on.
No problem.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for having me.
But yeah, so what are some of the tools you use for self-development? I know you say you read the 4 Agreements. Are there any other books that you can recommend that will help people on their journey?
I believe it or not, I read the Bible. I read a lot. I read every day. I read a lot of holistic books. I just read. I read. I listen to every day. I'm trying to feed my brain. I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I'm constantly just educating myself daily. And it's like all I really want to do is be a student right now. I'm in that mode. I want to learn as much as I can. And I want to work on myself as much as I can. Like I'm in the gym every day. Yeah. Working out every day. Reading every day, working every day, you know.
I think more people should read. So I have 2 daughters, and when I take them to the park, I enjoy sitting on that bench and reading. For sure. It's kind of like meditating, because you're focusing your mind on something that that is, feeding your brain, right? And then you're learning something new. When I read, like I say, the 4 Agreements, I've been on the same chapter for
dope
like
book. That's a dope book.
It's been
that book changed my life.
Yeah.
Changed my life, really.
And so the ability to just to sit down and to read, I feel like it's a lost art. So when I see other people read, I'm like, wow, people, like, we still do this. Because most time it's easier to pick up the phone and scroll than it is to open up a book and read.
Right.
And reading is very important.
Definitely.
So how do you control your like social media or, your social media usage? Because it could be very addictive when you go on here and you're scrolling, and then also it's a form of programming and you're looking at other people and then you don't feel like you enough. And typically, I know you don't feel like that.
But last year, it can get you there. So I fasted from it, right? Because I'm usually on there to work.
Yeah.
But at times when things are rocky in your life, you start looking at everybody else, and it can be a trigger of like you're losing. That's where depression comes from. Depression is just you thinking you're losing, right? And so I'm too blessed. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Are you into like psychedelics? Have you ever done any like mushrooms or?
So that's funny you asked that. I tried it, it didn't do nothing for me.
Okay.
But I'm willing to try again.
Yeah.
And I recently just tried it because I wanted to try to get that experience, but
yeah,
I don't know, maybe it was
do you remember how many grams you did?
Man, I tried to do the microdose.
Okay.
I was like, I don't feel nothing. Then I just ate the whole thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
it didn't do. So maybe it was the wrong kind. Maybe, I don't know. I tried.
But you are open to the.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Nothing hard,
Right.
But, if it's natural, right. You know what I'm saying? And it's from the earth. Yeah, I definitely. All of it's from the earth, but my thing is if it's not chemically isolated, because that's what makes it a drug, right? So when you isolate anything from a plant, it becomes a drug.
Right. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
Hold on. He want to take a phone call. You can step out. Yep. So yeah, I feel I enjoy mushrooms, and I don't enjoy it saying I overuse it, but I might take mushrooms roughly 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And my latest experience, this is going back to the whole depression thing or feeling like you're losing or feeling like you're not doing enough or being enough. Literally, I took some mushrooms and the whole time I like cried of pure joy because I'm like, I'm so blessed. Everything in my life is really good. There's all I can do is to give thanks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because I know a lot of my friends right now, everybody's using this word transition. I'm going through a transition.
Transformation, transition, yeah.
Yeah, and also a lot of my friends have been transitioning out of depression, you know? And I'm like, what is really going on in a world that so many people are feeling depressed,
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because...
So what's going on, my opinion, a lot of us have been operating out of our root chakra. Everything has been real materialistic, right? And during that wave, a lot of people made a lot of money. Some people didn't, right? And so naturally, when you're accomplishing goals, you start to celebrate. And when people see somebody else celebrate and seeing somebody else happy, they want to be able to celebrate and be happy too, or want to be celebrated, right? But that's, to me, the problem. It's not enough self-love. When you're looking for gratification from outside people, that shows you don't love yourself enough, right? And so what happens is the economy starts to go down. You start going through a recession, right? Inflation goes up, money gets tight. We are not able to move how we want to maneuver, move or accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. Now we start feeling like we losing because our goals seem harder and harder and harder to reach, right?
Yeah.
So now we revert to saying, okay, cool, that might not work. Now let me transform into this. And sometimes that helps a person to realize what's more important in life, right? The unfortunate part is that we have to go through certain things in order to really find ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Sometimes you have to go through things to really learn the lesson and what's really important.
Yeah.
And
ultimately to learn more about yourself.
For sure.
Yeah. It's a beautiful journey, man, getting to know yourself. I feel like I'm at a very pivotal point in my life where, you know, that's why I keep reading that same chapter, y'all. Y'all got to get the book, The Four Agreements, okay?
Right.
That after the smoky mirror,
Right.
he just really honed in on the concept of we have just been deeply programmed. And sometimes I'm thinking like, you know, oh, no, I don't have the same characteristics as my parents, although I love my parents, right? But really, I do.
Right.
I just never been put in a situation for it to come out. And then once it come out, I'm like, wow.
So you've been
I know.
domesticating yourself.
Yes.
Right.
And then also when I do behave in a way that I don't think is right, now I'm punishing myself.
Right.
Right. And I'm just like, wow. And I think we all do this, you know? So going through that programming and saying, okay, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And also not being hard on yourself with that unlearning and relearning process, because, you know, as you're changing, it's easy to say, okay, I'm going to change, and you start, but then right when that trigger come back, you resort back to the same you again. Right. And then, you know, you go through that cycle, but the goal is to just don't give up on yourself and to keep trying.
That's going to come with maturity and, like you said, knowing self. But I want you to realize this, right?
Yeah.
The body, right? Anything it doesn't want, it resists. You know what I'm saying? Or it tries to get rid of.
Yeah.
Right? So our desires might want something, but our body will resist it. You know what I'm saying? Like even like foods we eat. That's how we harm ourselves. Like what I was taught was anything you wouldn't give to a baby, you shouldn't put in your body. You shouldn't do to your body.
Yeah.
You know, because they live in the spiritual world, right?
I don't know, but a lot of people can't take that advice because what they get babies is, you know what I'm saying? They will give their babies the poison, let's say, like through the food, and
but they don't know no better. That's because of ignorance. But guess what? Even the baby tell you what it don't want. So guess what? We give a baby milk. What does the baby do?
Drink it.
No, it spits it up. That's why you have to burp the baby.
I never looked at it from that perspective.
Right. It don't want the milk. Does it throw up breast milk?
Well, you still got to burp your baby after.
No, you don't.
I did.
Well, that's because that's just out of habit.
I thought that's what you had to do every time your baby, you feed your baby, you got to burp the baby.
Not if you're giving it what it needs.
I never knew that.
Right.
I learned something new.
Yeah, if you're giving the baby breast milk, there's no need to burp it because it wants it. You have to burp it because the baby doesn't want it. It's spitting it up. It doesn't want the milk.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Look into it.
Yeah.
Anything
I
your
thought
body.
you were burping a baby because I don't know. You get told
now
to
you
burp.
now you doing something you don't know.
I'm
See, that's
programmed,
the difference from believing and knowing.
Yeah,
You
that's
get where I'm
real.
coming from? You want to know. You feel me? Why am I doing this?
Yeah,
Is this healthy for my child?
yeah.
Why am I giving my baby Infamil?
And that right there actually is the thing that sparked my whole health company, right? The Herb and Flow brand.
Right.
I was nursing and I was pregnant and I'm vegan and I'm gluten free. So I went down to like 155 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, something gotta go. And I can't get rid of the baby. I can't get rid of my lifestyle. So I stopped nursing I think she was 9 months at the time. And going to the store, I'm like, I could not pick between the soy-based formula, the cow's-based formula. So I created my own milk, basically, you know? And wow, I'm so surprised because I'm like, I literally thought that's just what you do.
You need it's a book you need to read. You need to read this book from Dr. Layla Africa. It's called Nutricide. Yeah, read that
I'm
book.
gonna have to look. And what is it about?
It's about holistic health. So Dr. Layla Africa and Dr. CB are like two of the biggest holistic people of our lifetime. He has a book that has every disease and every cure to every disease.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you should definitely look into Dr. Layla Africa. Go to YouTube, listen to some of his material. Because the thing about us, right, like I said, the difference between believing and knowing, right? People, we read. This, I told you, beliefs create confusion, right?
Yeah.
So you want to know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But the thing is, when we read for information, right? Now, what happens is people have different walks of life
Right.
that might not be the same walk as your life, right? So if I'm from a Caucasian culture, I'm going to go by the food pyramid. I'm not going to see nothing wrong with meat and eggs and dairy. And there's probably nothing wrong for that culture.
Right.
But is that culture conducive for me being a melanated being? Because if vice versa, I'm a melanated being, I'm supposed to get 2 hours of sunlight every day.
Yeah.
Caucasian people, they're going to burn in the sun. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you read books, you really want to study authors because books are mentors.
Right.
So you want to follow the author. You don't want to just read books just to read books because if you don't read it with an open mind, you start believing the things that you read.
Right.
And you start assuming that it's meant for you. Right? Which an assumption is not a fact.
That's
Right?
true.
That's for agreements. Don't assume.
I didn't even get there yet. I'm still.
That's one of the 4 agreements. That's one of the 4 agreements.
That is one of the 4 agreements. Like
Yeah.
I said, I'm just so honed in on that whole concept of the smoky mirror and then that chapter, like right after that,
Yeah.
because it's just a good illustration of like us being human and who we truly are.
Right.
So I really have been enjoying that. I'm going to look into that lady. No, it's a male. It's a male. I never heard of him,
Dr. Lele
but I
Africa.
love learning.
I
I watch
see.
like the Gaia Network. Are you into that at all?
The what?
Gaia?
I think somebody just sent me that. Is it like a social media community?
It's not. They might have a social media page, but it's more so
Somebody just
like a spiritual.
Yeah. I just
like-
got sent that today.
Yeah. Okay. So look at that. You
Yeah.
gotta check that out.
I will.
It's very informative. They talk about like the chemic. They talk about so many different things. History, meditation, eating, religion.
I've been heavy on
Yeah.
Dr. Malachi York. I've been heavy on him.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check some of these people out.
Yeah. I'm heavy
Have
on
you
him.
heard of Joe Dispenza? No. Okay. Great person. He just talked about like the breaking bad habits to become your best self, basically.
For sure.
So yeah, I feel like we're at a point where we have to take accountability for ourselves as humans and really get to know and understand who we really are.
Yeah.
And I feel like with conversations like this, we're taking a step forward, right?
For sure.
We're helping humanity.
Definitely.
And I feel like you're a good example of what it's like to be in one place, go through challenges, and come out on the other side and working on being the best you.
Exactly.
What are some of the benefits of you going vegan? Because it's been a couple months now. So I'm sure you probably seen some of the...
Energy,
Yeah.
mental clarity, focus, weight loss. We don't lose weight. My boy Yaki Awaken told me we lose toxins. The body is going through a detox. So we don't lose weight, we lose toxins. I was 192 October of last year. I'm like 155. I'm right there with you. In the best, like some of the best shape of my life. You know what I'm saying? 43 years of age. Back in my 23-year-old body. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah. That's good. And you're a father.
Yes.
How many children?
I got 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I got 3 girls and 2 boys. 19, 18, 12, about to be 13 next week. A 9-year-old and a 7-year-old son.
And what is the one thing you wish for your children?
That they understand that they're God and they work on being a supreme being and being the best version of themselves.
And what is one way you're giving them that information?
I'm just planting seeds. You know,
Okay.
we got a family group chat. I just put stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and every time they're around me, you know what I'm saying, we read and they hear me listening to audio books. You know, I'm creating memories with them. I think that's super important that we create memories with our kids. Like, we have a lot of problems in this generation where people watch their kids, but they're not raising them, right? And like, once again, I don't really subscribe to the holidays either. So, you know, I'm big on birthdays, but I don't really subscribe to the holidays because I used to do Christmas every year. We'll buy them something, then you notice they'll throw away the toy. It's like they never even play with that toy no more, right? So we were buying stuff that just, you know, but the things that they always remember is the time that I spent. If I'm, you know, up all night playing a video game or we're doing something together, these are the things that matter. These are the things they're going to remember. You know, spending that quality time with the kids. Like, I think that's super, super important.
Yeah, I agree. That's all kids want.
Right.
Quality time.
Yep.
Hey, look at me.
That's all we all want.
Yeah. But nowadays, I'm not gonna lie to you though. Sometimes it feel like, this is what somebody told me, and I don't agree. All right, but they were saying how women require more attention than a baby. Meaning like they want your attention all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know, because a kid require a lot of attention. You know, a lot of attention. So
I think a woman that's into her man or into her significant other definitely, you know what I'm saying, is gonna want that attention. You know, but I think that's a good thing. I like my son, my youngest son, they, you know, my other kids be like, oh, he's annoying, but I'm never annoyed because I want the attention. I want the love. I want it. You get where I'm coming from? And I think when you're in love with somebody, you want that attention. You want that energy. I've had situations where in the beginning I thought somebody was super annoying, and then after you done fell in love with that person and they're no longer there, you like, man, I wish they was here to do that annoying thing. You get where I'm coming from? So
that's real.
Yeah.
So before we wrap it up and get out of here, I ask every guest one last question. What is one piece of advice you'll like to share to the world?
I guess the same thing that I've been saying pretty much this whole show, but I'm gonna say it, and it stuck with me and it's kind of profound. Hearing is believing. We got this notation that seeing is believing. No, hearing is believing. Seeing is knowing. I'd rather know than believe.
We go close it out on that, y'all.
For sure.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I think everything happens for a reason. So you're here for a reason. You know, you got into your accident today for a reason. And I believe that it's all going to work out in everyone's favor.
For sure. Can I tell people where to find me?
Yes, let the people know where they can find you.
Hey, Boomman on all social media platforms, 2 O's, 2 M's. Or you can go onto the website, AuthenticEmpireMG.com. Boomman, and I'm still booming. It's the big AE, not the little one. Let's get it.
Cool. High fives. Good energy.
For sure.
Vibes. Thank you for coming on.
No problem. Anytime.
And thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Wholistic Conversations. I'm your host, Brittany. And like I say every single time, make sure you subscribe, right? Your support means the most. And without you, I wouldn't even have this platform. So leave in the comments something you learned, something you took away from today's episode. And I will see you all next time. Peace out.